It is the long history of humankind that those who learn to collaborate and improvise most effectively have prevailed. A fine example of these words is the IMC Chamber of Commerce and Industry, formerly known as the Indian Merchants Chamber. The chamber is the voice of over 200,000 corporates with a combined strength of more than 4,500 members and 220 trade and educational institutions. Identified as a chamber with a global presence, IMC is on the board of the World Chambers Federation and has signed MOUs with the United Nations and more than 150 other chambers of commerce across various countries and government agencies. With the numbers still growing, the IMC has gained the strength to be the undisputed voice of Indian industry.
We are very proud of the fact we therefore represent the cream of the cream industry in this country. On the one hand, we help our members. On the other, we submit recommendations to the government so that they can institute policies which can ease and accelerate the business in India. Our activities include running seminars, holding exhibitions, we host inbound delegations, we take outbound delegations, and we facilitate international trade, which we believe is crucial to India's development.
IMC has spanned over 11 decades. To understand the spirit of IMC, one must go back in time.
Indian Merchants Chamber started in 1907 under the leadership of the visionary Manmohan Das Ramji, the eminent Indian businessman.
The economic policies of the then alien government in India were dictated by associations which had no other interests but to look after the welfare of the colonizers and traders. And it was such associations, uncaring and unfair economic policies that made Indian traders and merchants realize the need to form their own chamber Indian Merchants Chamber.
These gentlemen of great experience, great patriotism, lent their support, their advice, and their knowledge to government in formulating policies.
I want to compliment the IMC on its proactive liaison and advocacy efforts with ministers, senior bureaucrats, and civil society. Its repository of accumulated knowledge, its long experience, and the cohesion amongst its institutional and corporate members enable the IMC to work very closely with the Indian government on policy matters essential for development and growth.
This was the only chamber whose honorary membership Mahatma Gandhi accepted. Starting with only 23 members, the IMC's membership grew over the years, with many prominent icons of industry as members, as well as parliamentarians and those who later became cabinet ministers. From Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, and from Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru to Shri Narendra Modi, IMC has the rare honor of visits by almost all the presidents and prime ministers of India. Inaugurated by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel in 1939, this prestigious IMC building stands in the heart of South Mumbai. In 1967, as a memorial for the late Mr. F.E. Dinshaw, a well-equipped commercial and financial library was built. The then Honorable Chief Justice of the Mumbai High Court, Mr. Mohit Shah, inaugurated IMC's International ADR Center.
Cases are pending for years and years. IMC has taken a lead and set up an international ADR center which will cover all alternate dispute resolutions, including reconciliation and mediation.
The IMC Provincial Ravi Gandhi Chair in Banking and Finance, who instituted to perpetuate the memories of late Sri Provincial Gandhi, who was a trustee as well as a past president of IMC. The chair serves dual purposes: promote our own National University of Eminence, that is the Mumbai University, and secondly, fulfill the long-felt need as there was no chair for banking and finance in the University of Mumbai.
IMC also has a strong ladies' wing, promoting professional excellence of women entrepreneurs.
In these past years, we have achieved a lot. We have empowered a lot of women from the urban sector for impact, which we hold on Women's Day. We found that the woman artisan in the rural area is to be celebrated. So we synergized with the urban woman and the rural woman and brought each other into focus.
IMC initiates a number of conferences on topical national interests in various sectors like infrastructure, banking, financial services, aviation, urban development, railways, and many more. IMC also hosts a number of foreign and Indian dignitaries.
IMC approached me to help them get involved in actually creating a startup committee. Our agenda, therefore, was defined as thought leadership, advocacy, and partnerships, and extremely excited to participate with several youngsters from across the state, and we spoke about building companies and entrepreneurship.
A variety of awards have been initiated by IMC to encourage innovation, quality, and development in various fields.
IMC is very proud to have the Ramkrishna Bajaj National Quality Award and the Juran Quality Medal. This we started over 20 years back to get Indian corporates to assist them to be able to focus on quality and compete in the world. I must also mention the IMC Juran Quality Medal, and that is given to an individual. The Ramkrishna Bajaj National Quality Award is for corporates, the most prestigious quality award in the country.
IMC encourages innovation. recognizing outstanding services and accomplishments of organizations and individuals with the Inclusive Innovation Awards.
And there was a reason to create these awards, Inclusive Innovation Awards. See, India needs growth, but it has to be inclusive growth. And for that, you require inclusive innovation, because it is only innovation-led growth that can take India up there.
In terms of social responsibilities, IMC has been active through a number of forums. As India races towards a bright future, the IMC is accentuating its progress with its vital strength and leadership by aligning its aims with those of the governments, ensuring India's transformation to a fully developed economy.
IMC will do everything in its power, and so will its members, to achieve this objective, to put India on that pinnacle which India deserves to be.
Our collective ambition must be to take India, Indian enterprises and the Indian economy to the top of the global ladder. Let us build a grand coalition of all Indians under the auspices of IMC for building a new India today. IMC will have a big role to play in building and nurturing this partnership.
आप जिस संस्था का हिस्सा है, उसका बहुत ही गौरवशाली इतिहास रहा है। स्वदेशी आंदोलन की पृष्ठभूमि में इसकी स्थापना हुई है, कुछ न कुछ योगदान दिया है, और इसके लिए आपकी संस्था प्रशंसा के पात्र है। IMC मैं आपका बहुत बहुत आभारी हूं। धन्यवाद।
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with an online version of the IMC Digital Technology Awards 2020. We thank our sponsors, Zent Overseas Education Limited and Hinditron for their valuable support and contribution in making this a success. On behalf of the IMC Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I, Selvi Nambishan, would like to extend a very warm welcome to all our winners, jury members, dignitaries, esteemed guests, and our respected chief guest, Mr. Rishad Premji, Chairman, Wipro Limited, who kindly consented to adorn the IMC Digital Technology Awards 2020 with his esteemed presence. We are sincerely grateful for your valuable time. Thank you, sir. As we proceed, without much ado, I request Mr. Ajit Mangrulkar, Director General, IMC, to begin the session by giving the introductory address. Over to you, Mr. Mangrulkar.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to our esteemed chief guest, Shri Rishad Premji, jury members, lifetime achievement winners, participants, awardees, applicants, and media personnel to the IMC Digital Technology Awards 2020. Every organization today is getting the digital setup in place for smooth functioning of business to enable remote, secure working and provide maximum reach to consumers to do business sitting in the confines of the four walls around them. What with the on and off lockdowns being declared and the pandemic conditions still looming up with uncertainties, it is the digital technology which is facilitating and empowering us to our conduct of business and industry dealings. Work from home has become a necessity, which is possibly only through smooth digital infrastructure. With this tremendous explosion of digital technology and infrastructure, we are all set to redefine the way businesses will run in future. While almost all businesses are embracing digital transformations, we at IMC have always made an effort to keep our members abreast with the latest in this field and have gone online up to the very last mile. The IMC Chamber of Commerce and Industry, popularly known as the IMC, erstwhile Indian Merchants Chamber, is a legendary organization which has relentlessly pursued the agenda of identifying opportunities, addressing critical issues, and driving Indian businesses with the single-minded focus of sustainable growth. IMC's members and its network has been instrumental in influencing policy frameworks and changes towards this goal and continually strengthening sectors that are critical to India's new phase to flourish. IMC seeks out thought leaders and spearheads to identify today's needs and catalyze the achievement of tomorrow's vision. Set up in 1907 in the wake of the Swadeshi movement to represent Indian businesses, IMC is a premier chamber of trade, commerce, and industry in India. As digitization and its usage is the buzzword these days, IMC is pleased to recognize entities and individuals who have contributed immensely in making our lives convenient through adaptation of technology. The IMC Digital Technology Award recognizes and rewards the accomplishments of the IT industry's innovations and digital transformation of organizations across a varied spectrum. The winners for each award is selected in the large and small categories, wherever applicable, by an esteemed panel of jury. I congratulate all the winners of the award and the certificate of recognition, and especially the Lifetime Achievement Award winners for their achievements and contribution towards the society. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mangrulkar. I now invite Mr. Rajiv Poddar, President, IMC, to deliver the welcome address. Over to you, Mr. Poddar.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the IMC Chamber of Commerce and Industry, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome all the distinguished guests, media representatives, our award winners, and members of the jury to the IMC Digital Technology Awards 2020. In particular, I extend a very warm welcome to our chief guest, Mr. Rishad Premji, and thank him for sparing his valuable time to grace the occasion and motivate all our winners. Although Rishad needs no introduction, I will take this opportunity to give a brief about our illustrious chief guest. Rishad Premji is the Executive Chairman of Wipro Limited and was earlier the Chief Strategic Officer responsible for shaping Wipro's strategy to drive sustained and profitable growth, investor relations, and all government relation activities for the company. As the Chief Strategy Officer, he led Wipro's M&A strategy and conceptualized Wipro Ventures, a $100 million fund to invest in startups, developing technologies and solutions that will complement Wipro's businesses with next generation services and products. Rishad is on the board of Wipro Enterprise Limited and Wipro GE, a joint venture between Wipro and General Electric in the healthcare domain. He is also on the board of the Aziz Premji Foundation, one of the largest not-for-profit initiatives in India, which is focused on improving public school education and works with over 350,000 government schools across 7 states in India. He is on the board of Aziz Premji Philanthropic Initiatives. Rishad was the chairman of NASSCOM in the year 2018-19. He has an MBA from the Harvard Business School and a BA in economics from the Wesleyan University in US. In 2014, he was recognized as the Young Global Leader by the World Economic Forum for his outstanding leadership and professional accomplishments and commitment to the society. Rishad, your ties with the IMC go way back. Your late and honorable grandfather, Mr. Mohammad Hussain Hasham Premji, led IMC as president in the year 1946-47. It is indeed a proud moment for the IMC Chamber of Commerce to organize this 6th cycle of Digital Technology Awards function. We are grateful to all our applicants for responding in huge numbers with quality applications, even in such difficult situations, and especially to the government sector organizations who have implemented great projects for the better good of the society at large in the COVID-19 circumstances. CLSA stated that the digital payments in India are surging in the ongoing COVID-19-led lockdowns. Already, these had jumped threefold during the last 2 years to 3 billion transactions a month. Within digital, mobile accounts for 50 to 75% of the transactions in volume and value. The world, though, is trying to overcome the virus, it has rather shrunk with digitalization, and accordingly, the markets have become closer. Technological transformation today is centered on optimizing operational processes, enhancing consumer experiences, and augmenting business models. It encompasses the transformation of business enterprises and governments using technology so as to make experiences better, communication effective, work simpler, and reach on the click of a button. The transformations are growing and bring into focus the need to recognize these performers who have made great strides and overcome challenges in their work environment and brought all activities under a click of a button. It is also to acknowledge the intellect prowess as change agents to make a positive contribution to the society and economy. With digital transformations today, government services are also reaching citizens in the remotest of locations to keep them updated on various issues concerning them. These awards are very much in line with the national agenda set by our Honorable Prime Minister towards creating a digital India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, and we strongly believe this initiative by IMC will significantly contribute towards the larger objective as stated by our Honorable Shri Narendra Modi ji. In this digital age, we have an opportunity to transform lives of people in a way that was hard to imagine a couple of decades ago. The IT sector is fraught with tough challenges of intellectual competencies, data security, fast-changing technologies, and newer usage of applications, and above all, the impatient, qualified, and intellect staff who are eager to display their talents in different companies in quick successions through job hopping. All this makes it more relevant that the Chamber of Commerce, who has the pulse of the industrial climate, come up with ways and means to encourage the developments in the various fields and recognize them. Emerging technologies such as blockchain, artificial intelligence, robotic process automations, machine learning, and IoT are the buzzwords that every sector is curiously studying and consciously implementing so that they can keep pace with the transformation age. IMC introduced the IMC Digital Technology Awards with an objective to encourage and recognize the efforts and honor the highest levels of digital achievements by various IT companies and end users of IT. I extend my heartiest congratulations to all the award winners and wish the event all the success. Special congratulations to the Lifetime Achievement Award winners, Mr. Ashant Desai, Founder, Vice Chairman and Managing Director of Mastech Limited, Mr. Atul Nishar, Chairman, Ascent Overseas Education Limited and Founder, Hexaware Technologies, and Mr. Lalit Kanodia, Chairman, Datamatics Group of Companies, all of whom have been actively involved with the IMC leading its Digital Technology Committee. Mr. Kanodia has also been the past president of the IMC for the year 2017-18. I would also like to congratulate Ms. Jhankana Desai, Chairperson of our Digital Technology Committee, along with Mr. Harish Tibrewal, Chairman of IMC Digital Technology Awards Subcommittee, and the entire team for the successful implementation of the awards. A very warm welcome once again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Poddar. Friends, now let us move on to the highlight of the evening, the much awaited award ceremony, which is online today. But before starting, may I request Mr. Harish Tibrewala, Chairman, IMC Digital Technology Awards Committee, to give a brief overview about the IMC Digital Technology Awards 2020. Over to you, Mr. Tibrewala.
Good evening. The IMC IT Awards seek to recognize meritorious work across different industries and in different areas like services and product development, as well as across the MSME sector, the large sector, and the government sector. This year, the awards were conducted under the very unusual COVID circumstances. In spite of it, we got a very enthusiastic response and had about 120 applications for the awards. The entire process of pre-screening as well as final jury selection happened online and happened very smoothly. The judges were very pleased with the quality of applications, and it is indeed very inspiring to see the kind of innovative work that is happening in the Indian IT industry. The Chamber is going to host all the award-winning entries with their case studies on our website so that the same can be referenced by others in the future. I would like to take the opportunity to thank the award applicants, the interim jury, the final jury, Selby and her team from the IMC Secretariat, Mr. Mukesh Kriplani, who was convener of the interim jury, and Ms. Jhankana Desai, convener of the final jury, for all their efforts. Also, I would like to take the opportunity to congratulate each and every winner of the IMC IT Awards.
Thank you, Mr. Tibrewala. And now, to end the suspense and begin with the award ceremony, may I request our jury chair, Ms. Sandhya Vasudevan, Managing Director, Deutsche Bank Group, to give us a brief overview on the jury procedures and the award winners. Over to you, Ms. Vasudevan.
Good evening. On behalf of the IMC Digital Technology Awards jury, it gives me great pleasure to announce the winners for this year. This year, we are covering the awards for both 2020 and 2021. We have been receiving numerous nominations, and this year we had 120 of them, which was evaluated by our interim jury. The convener for the interim jury was Mukesh Kriplani, and he was supported by Himanshu Dhaya, Moez Hussain Ali, Neena Das Gupta, Dr. Pradeep Mukherjee, Dr. Pradeep Pense, Rajgopal Nayak, Dr. Ranjit Nair, Satish Pai, Sudeep Banerjee, Sudipta Sen, Sumit Rajwade, Uday Singhania. The interim jury evaluated all the nominations, did the interviews, and then provided the shortlist to the jury. The jury was convened by Jhankana Desai and was supported by Dr. Lalit Kanodia, Harish Mehta, Atul Nishar, Ashish Shetri, Lara Balsara Wajifdar, Nitin Chugh, Sanjay Mehta, and Sandhya Vasudevan. After a number of serious deliberations, the following were approved for the awards. There are 6 categories of awards, and within each category, we looked at the nominations of both the small and the large organizations. The awardees are, in the product category small, Unicommerce eSolutions Private Limited, which is a platform for e-commerce enablement. The awards for services large goes to both Datamatics and Tata Consultancy Services. Datamatics won the award for digital workplace implementation at UTI Asset Management Company using OpenText Documentum product suite. And TCS won the award for the digital platform for next generation agriculture services for food safety, traceability, and sustainable sourcing. The awards for services small goes to Luminar Datamatics Limited Blue Pen, which is an online editing and proofing platform that is a web-based service hosted on the cloud. Red Solution also gets a certificate of recognition in this category. They provide project management support for the engineering and construction industry. There are 2 awards for the emerging technologies, large, HDFC Bank and L&T Technology Services, I know. HDFC had a product called ML Smart for customer-centric services through recommendation engines for easy EMI business. L&T with their I know, which is a homegrown artificial intelligence platform. This supports transportation, industrial products, plant engineering, medical, healthcare, media, entertainment, and high tech. They have filed for 15 patents around machine learning, image processing, and natural language processing. 1 award for emerging technology small goes to Frightwala, which uses blockchain to provide visibility and transparency across the supply chain. There's a certificate of recognition to iTeltronics, which uses IR and ICR technology to capture data on any paper or booklet, which can be used especially in the education sector. There are 2 promising startups, Solve, which is from Standard Chartered Research and Technology India Private Limited, for building India's trusted B2B commerce marketplace for MSME. The second award goes to Whirl, which is an agri-fintech with dual objective of improving farmers' income by avoiding distress sale and reducing banking frauds occurring in warehouse receipt finance segment. We are also giving a certificate of recognition for Acadian Technologies Private Limited, which is an India-based provider of video platform as a service. We also have provided a certificate of recognition to Rubik Data Sciences Private Limited, which helps its clients take prudent credit risk decisions. The next set of awards are for the end user segment. In the utilities large, we have Gina Company, which has a huge installation around online freight forwarding, integration into IceGate, and online access to customers. The second award goes to the National Bulk Handling Corporation with their end-of-day app to enable automated risk management. The certificate of recognition is also given to Retail Small Segment for Empire Spices and Food Limited for their product B-Zone, which is a SaaS-based solution that leverages automation and data to help us streamline supply and increase sales. In the education sector large, we have Ellen Velankar Institute of Management, Development and Research, V-School as it's known, with their HR cloud-based platform for all the HR requirements, right from payroll to performance management. In the education sector small, award goes to Audio First Commerce Private Limited for their brand Hi Voco, which leverages voice recognition Google tools to deliver personalized voice content to the students. In the BFSI, non-banking financial services company, large, Edelweiss General Insurance Company Limited wins the award for their insurance cover mobile app, which makes it paper-free. There's an award also for Grasim Industries Limited Chemical Division for their central manufacturing cockpit, which captures manufacturing data from multiple sources for their MI reporting. Grasim also receives a certificate of recognition for VEDA for safety and touchless face recognition based on attendance, very useful during the COVID times. In the healthcare, pharma, chemical, small segment, a certificate of recognition is being given to WITS Interactive Private Limited RXMG for digital consulting platform focused on telemedicine. Manufacturing and engineering large goes to Shyam Steel for their complex and huge CRM and Salesforce management system. In the same category, we have Grasim Industries Pulp and Fiber, who won their award for Green Track blockchain powered forest to fashion traceability for sustainable textile sourcing. They also win a certificate of recognition for Soft Sensor, which is a predictive analytics tool. For the end user social impact, in the small category, it goes to Mahendra Summit Agri Sciences Limited. They set up proxy meetings for farmers during the COVID times in lieu of physical meetings. A certificate of recognition is being given in the same category to Habitat for Humanity India Trust for a locally built project management tool to improve productivity. The government sector proved to be the most productive of them all. We have the National Informatics Center, Arogya Darshak Maps, which has the GIS mapping of containment zones in hospitals, extremely timely during the COVID times. The second one goes to the Department of IT Rajasthan for their document verification and authentication engine that allows integration and transfer of data between multiple government departments and applications. But the most prolific of all government departments is from the government of Haryana, Department of Information Technology, Electronics and Communication, where we received 8 entries, of which 3 were outstanding. All of these will drive and support the customer requirements, which is the citizens of India. We also have 3 certificates of recognition being given to the first one to the Department of IT Rajasthan for their Raj Masters, which is a state central master data hub across the various departments. The second one goes to the Government Ministry of Skill and Development and Entrepreneurship for Jan Shikshan Sanstha for their full life cycle skill-based development platform. Finally, the Government of Andhra Pradesh Space Application Center, Minerals Vehicle Tracking wins the award for the Internet of Things-based smart transportation and mobility solution for the Department of Mines and Geology. On behalf of the jury, it gives me immense pleasure to congratulate each and every one of the winners. These are outstanding examples of what is happening in the industry. It's just a sample, and we were really hard-pressed to know which ones to select. But our objective was to give you, the IMC members, a wide flavor of the kind of activities that are happening. Many of them make us proud as a made in India product or solution. They also leverage technologies like SaaS or the cloud to make it really practical for the many small businesses which are out there. On behalf of the jury, wish you all the very best and look forward to seeing more and more of these innovations.
Thank you, Ms. Vasudevan. After so many weighty speeches, I think some laughter is deserved. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen, with a ruse to invigorate you with a stand-up comedy by Mr. Mandar Bide. Mandar Bide is India's only comedian who performs in 4 languages: English, Hindi, Gujarati, and Marathi. He has done more than 600 shows till date. So over to you, Mr. Bide, and enjoy, friends.
Hello, good evening. Hi, my name is Mandar Bide. I am a stand-up comedian and I'm performing live from my bedroom. I never thought I would see this day, but we've seen far worse, haven't we? Well, I've been told, I don't know whether organizers think that you guys in the audience, you have a fair bit of idea about the Indian IT industry. I don't know why they would think so, but I just want to tell you guys, I have been a part of the Indian IT industry for a while. I'm just kidding. I was so bad at my job, they actually fired the person who hired me. He was to blame partly because in my interview he asked me what languages I knew. I said Hindi, English and Marathi. And he thought I was joking. He thought I was so confident in my abilities that I had a sense of humor in the interview. But they did not actually fire him. They made him go through far worse. They put him in HR. So it was his job to interrupt a very serious meeting and announce to the room that come for Rajesh's cake cutting in the canteen. I was such a bad coder that the testing team in my company was called Pest Control. After a while, they started adding lines to their CV saying we have tested Mandar's code. And they got offers from Google and Microsoft. When I quit, the entire organization came to meet me. They gave me a farewell. The project director quit after 2 months. I asked her why. She said, after you left, the job wasn't challenging enough for me. But it's been a while since I have quit IT, but the IT industry has gone very far, right? I mean, I quit at a time when we had not even heard of iPhones and Android phones. And now there are apps on the phone. I know people have developed some great apps, right? I want to ask you guys must have been using Google Pay for a while now, right? Such a great app, right? It's made transacting so much easier, right? You can transfer money from one person to another in a matter of seconds. But what horrible notifications this app has. The other day I got a notification from Google Pay. It said your friend Madhav is on Google Pay. Welcome him by sending 1 rupee as a gift. 1 rupee? I said, खुशी से मर नहीं जाएगा वो? मतलब उसको अमिताभ के सामने वाला बंगलो खरीदना था, उसके लिए उसको 1 रुपया कम पड़ रहा था, वो मैंने दिया. And Google, what do you mean by your friend Madhav? Madhav is my father. वो नहीं impress हो रहे 1 रुपये से. He turned 72 years back. Me and my brother went way out of our league. We arranged a party in a 5-star hotel. We invited all of his friends. The anchor at the event, he called me, my brother and my father to the stage. He asked my father, he said, sir, your sons have arranged such a grand party for you. What do you have to say? My father took the mic. He said, फिर भी property तुम्हारे नाम नहीं करूँगा. वो नहीं होने वाले impress 1 रुपये से. I think Uber is another app which needs to take care of the notifications. I had to go to Pune the other day. I booked a cab. I got a notification which said your driver Ramu is known for great conversation. I said, sir, ये बताओ उसका driving कैसा है? Conversation will be useful if you are both admitted to the same ward. I don't understand Zomato either. Zomato has a follow feature. Why are people interested in knowing whether I order masala dosa or medu vada for breakfast? Every time I order masala dosa from Zomato, I have 3 followers. Why are people following me on Zomato? Right now I have more followers on Zomato than on Instagram. And the problem with the follow feature is that my mother is also on Zomato. She follows me. Now every time I post a negative review about a restaurant, नीचे उसका comment आता है कि और खा ले बाहर का खाना. My mother has had a centuries old problem with bahar ka khana. Every time we go out to eat, she does not enjoy the food. Every time the food comes on the table, she starts analyzing it. कि 400 रुपए का पास्ता देखो तो क्या है. Removes her glasses, scans the entire dish, कि इसमें 50 रुपए का चीज़ है, 10 रुपए का वेजीज है, 10 रुपए का पास्ता है. तू घर पे लेके आ, मैं 100 रुपए में बना के दे दूंगी. Couple of years back, there's this huge debate over the cost of Rafale planes. I just want to tell the government, just take my mother to France once, show her the plane. उसको घर पे सामान लाके दो, वो 10 लाख रुपए में घर पे बना के दे देगी. But these are tough times, right? As I said, I know some of you here would have kids. I have young kids. Okay, my kids are 6 and 2. Last year something happened which literally pulled the rug from under our feet. We got a call from the lady who runs the daycare center. It was in March. She said, "Sir, the daycare is going to be closed from tomorrow." I said, "Lady, what are you saying? What do you mean the daycare is going to be shut? Are we expected to raise our own kids now? What sort of injustice is this?" And see, we had never done that, right? Because our kids would go to the daycare in the morning, go to school in the afternoon, come back to the daycare. By the time we got them home, they would be half asleep already. Now we had to look after them 24/7. We had no clue what to do with them. Second day of the lockdown, we started calling the daycare. I was like, यार बच्चों को सुला दे कैसे? And I was shocked. I was like, "Are you sure? Cough syrup?" And you guys might find it strange. But उस रात जो मेरे बच्चे सोए, they did not wake up for 16 hours. I called up the daycare again. I said, "My kids are not waking up." The lady asked, "Sir, आपने कितना दिया?" I was like, 30 ml. But it's hard for kids, right? Just like we are working from home, kids are studying from home. You know, a setup like this is used for schooling nowadays. And it's really tough, right? The kind of expectations that teachers have from the children now. If kids don't do their homework, they are humiliated in front of the entire class. You don't do your homework on time, you'll be a loser. I said, teacher is in junior KG. Have some mercy, right? Homework was never a big deal, right? In our times, at least for me, because I went to a government school. And naturally, all my teachers were also government employees. So every time we did not do our homework, we would put a 2 rupee note in the book and then give it for checking. Problem solved. The teacher was scolding my child the other day. She was like, "Why are you drowsy in class?" I said, "Madam, wo cough syrup thoda." But when we were young, right, the entire economy revolved around our academic performances, right? Our parents never said no for anything. I don't remember my father saying no for anything when I was growing up. Whatever I would ask for, he would say, "Yes, I'll give it to you. You just come first in the class." I was in 8th standard. I actually came first in my class. At the open house, my father was fighting with my teachers to reduce my marks. मेरे 8-10 मार्क कम हुए. The guy who came second, his father started sweating. He's like, कहीं मेरा बच्चा फर्स्ट ना हो जाए. मैंने वीडियो गेम प्रॉमिस किया है. I remember उस दिन इतना गंदा मुंह बना के मेरे डैड ने मुझे साइकिल खरीद के दिए ना. The guy at the cycle shop thought I was adopted. और वो साइकिल 4 दिन के बाद चोरी हो गई. I still strongly suspect my father because पुलिस कंप्लेंट नहीं करवाई थी. उसके 2 वीक पहले हमारे डोर के ऊपर से बल्ब चोरी हो गया था. वो मैटर ACP तक गया था. But guys, after I left IT, I did something unthinkable. I did something that no engineer has done before. I did my MBA. I was bad at that as well, so I ended up in sales. And it's not the kind of sales that you guys do. I ended up in FMCG sales. I actually sold bulbs and biscuits. My first job, I had unrealistic expectations about the job, so I went to office dressed like this. I thought I would be sitting in an AC office making strategies, drawing presentations on whiteboards. But I was clearly wrong, because when I went to office, I met my boss. I said, "Sir, I'm the new joinee." He was doing some work on his computer. He did not even look up. There was a globe next to him. He put a finger on the globe. He said, "Yahan ja, call me once you are there." I called him after 2 days. I said, "Sir, मैं आ गया हूँ कन्याकुमारी, अब क्या करूँ?" He said, "मैंने तुम्हें कन्याकुमारी जाने बोला था." I said, "Sir, आपने उंगली तो वैसे इंडियन ओशन में रखी थी. This was the nearest landmass." He said, "Okay, now go and meet our distributor." I said, "Sir, where is the distributor?" He said, "You will tell me, because you have to appoint one." I was like, wow. So I appointed a distributor. Distributor made his first payment to the company. यहाँ उसके अकाउंट से पैसा डेबिट हुआ, वहाँ हमारे वेयरहाउस में स्ट्राइक हो गया. Distributor called my boss. He said, "Sir, return my money or give me stock." My boss said, "दोनों नहीं मिलेगा." He said, "तो सर, जब तक स्टॉक नहीं आता, तुम्हारा ये आदमी हमारे पास रहेगा." My boss said, "Excellent, हमारा होटल का पैसा बच जाएगा." 2 हफ्तों के लिए डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर की बीवी ने मुझसे मटर छिलवाए. मैंने इतने मटर छीले ना, मैं मटर बाहर से देख के बता सकता हूं किसके अंदर से कीड़ा निकलेगा. 10 days later उसके बेटे का मुंडन था. उसने कहा, "सर, डोर के बाहर रंगोली बनाओ." I called my boss. I said, "Sir, I need a change. I can't do this. Put me in HR." He said, "वहां भी रंगोली ही बनाना पड़ता है." Finally, after 3 weeks, the distributor got the stock. My boss said, "Open new outlets." In the first month, I opened 1,000 new outlets. I called my boss and proudly told him, "Sir, I opened 1,000 new outlets." He said, "Chhi. Open 1,000 more." I said, "1,000 more?" He said, "Sir, इस 1,000 में 300 श्रीलंका में जाके खोले हैं मैंने." At that point of time, he said something so motivating. No sales boss has ever said this. He said, "अगर outlets नहीं open कर पाए तो please resign next month." I knew I had to do something, so I called up Babaji. And this was not some religious Babaji. You know, there is a Babaji in every organization who's been with the organization for 20 years, more than 20 years. He has worn at least 7 different bands on his ID card. Babaji generally does not talk, but once Babaji starts talking, Babaji doesn't stop. I said, "Babaji, कैसे खोले outlets?" He said, "Beta, where there is a Mahalakshmi Traders, there is a new Mahalakshmi Traders." I said, "Babaji, I don't quite follow." He said, "Beta, not all outlets are opened in the market." I said, "Thank you, Babaji." That month I opened 2,000 new outlets. Mahalakshmi Traders, new Mahalakshmi Traders and Sons. I called my boss. I said, "Sir, I opened 2,000 new outlets." He said, "Beta, badi jaldi seekh gaye. Come back to Mumbai." I came back to Mumbai. I met my boss. I said, "Sir, I want to be very successful in work. Please give me a tip." He said, "एक चीज याद रखना, भूख बड़ी होनी चाहिए." That's it. That's all that he said. Then he said, "Because it's your first day back, let's all go out for dinner." That day for dinner, we had peanuts, papad and boiled egg. After 3 hours, my boss was so drunk he could barely walk. But he still did not forget the 3 golden words for every salesperson. You know what those 3 golden words are, right? Food bill banao. Waiter food bill lekar aaya. The bill went something like this: 20 chicken tandooris, 15 butter chicken, 60 rotis. And I was like, भूख बड़ी होती है का ये मतलब होता है क्या? But I really started envying my friends from my B school who took up consulting, because I felt their lives were so much better than my life, right? I mean, they were getting to travel to exotic locations all over the world, like London, Singapore, New York, Paris. And while they were there updating their Facebook statuses, "I am at Times Square feeling alive," I was sending SMSs to my family, "I am at Latur, I am alive." Has anybody here been to Latur? Good. Jana bhi mat. I went to Latur once. I checked into the finest hotel there. Got the keys to my room, went inside. देखा तो मेरे रूम में होटल स्टाफ के 4 लोग कार्ड्स खेल रहे थे. I said, ये क्या हो रहा है? He said, sir, मेंढी कोट. I said, अरे but what about me? He said, नहीं सर, 4 ही लोग खेल सकते हैं, आप वेट कर लीजिए. I was so angry, I came storming down to the reception. I told the guy at the reception, I said, this is a shitty hotel, I want my refund. He said, sir, what happened? I said, मेरे रूम में तुम्हारा स्टाफ कार्ड्स खेल रहा है. He said, oh, मेरे बिना स्टार्ट कर दिए. I'm telling you guys, there's nothing to look forward to in my sales job, okay? Except for that 1 week in Thailand, where we would be taken for an annual sales conference. And even that had to be done secretly, so I had to tell my family I'm going to Jim Corbett National Park. There will be no network in the jungle, so don't bother calling me for the whole week. And then just to prove that I was in Jim Corbett National Park, over there I had to spend 200 bahts clicking pictures with the tiger. And you know tigers in Thailand, right? They're trained so well to pose with you, to take pictures with you. And I felt so ashamed. I was like, तू हमारा national animal है. You're posing for pictures, तुझे शर्म नहीं आती? तेरे घर वालों को पता है तू ये सब कर रहा है? He said, नहीं, उन्हें लग रहा है मैं जिम कॉर्बेट नेशनल पार्क में हूँ. All right, guys, that's been my time. I hope you guys had fun. Looking forward to performing in flesh and blood in front of you, maybe sometime this year or next year. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Lol, I did have a great ride of laughter and hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you, Mr. Bide, for lightening the tone for our awards. And now, friends, we present the AV of the award and certificate winners with their reactions. Owing to time constraints, we had to cut short the participants' reactions. But the entire portfolio, along with the messages from winners and their products, is available on our website, www.imc-itawards.in, for your further reference. The winners will also receive the winner's badge of the web link to be carried in their mail signatures and websites. So, can we start the AV?
On behalf of Datamatics and my team, I would like to thank IMC for this wonderful recognition. Thank you so much.
I thank the Indian Merchant Chamber of Commerce and Industry for bestowing this prestigious award on Tata Consultancy Services Digital Farming Platform Initiatives.
Thanks. I'm honored and delighted to accept this award on behalf of my team. I thank IMC and jury for the recognition by way of this award.
My greetings to all of you. On behalf of L&T Technology Services, I would like to thank you for this award and honor. It pleases us to receive this award from a prestigious organization like yourself.
Hi everyone. Thank you IMC for recognizing Freightwala and its potential. To say that I am delighted and honored to accept this award on behalf of Freightwala will be an understatement.
We are highly elated and thankful to IMC for selecting World as winner in the startup category. This sort of felicitation and support being provided by industry associations like IMC is a highly laudable step and will help create a thriving innovation and startup ecosystem in India.
Thanks you IMC for giving the award to G9 company, and we are really proud.
On behalf of NBSC, I sincerely thank IMC for recognizing our efforts, where we can proudly hold up this award as a mark of our company achievement. We further promise to get better and better. Thank you very much.
We are grateful to the Indian Merchant Chambers for motivating us, an institution like V-School, to showcase our efforts in digital transformation space. This award motivates us to serve our students and stakeholders better. Thank you.
Respected jury members of the IMC Digital Awards 2020, respected members of IMC Chamber of Commerce and Industry, my fellow participants and all the winners, on behalf of the entire High Voco Education and Learning team, I would like to thank you.
Edelweiss General Insurance is delighted to receive the award for the best project in the end user company BFSI category for Edelweiss Switch at the IMC Digital Technology Awards 2020.
Hello everyone, I would like to thank the jury members who have selected Siam Steel Industry in the large manufacturing categories for our product CRM Salesforce automations.
Very good evening to all of you. It is indeed my privilege to receive the award on behalf of Team Grassi. Thank you IMC for recognizing our project. I also want to thank all team members, both business and IT, for making this a great success.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank you to all jury members, those has selected us as a winner for this Go Digital concept.
First of all, I want to thank IMC jury members who have selected this project, Arogya Darshak Maps, GIS mapping of containment zones and hospital for jury award. Thank you so much.
Hello, I am R.L. Solanki, Additional Director, Department of Information Technology, Government of Rajasthan. On behalf of Department of Information Technology and Communication, Government of Rajasthan, I would like to thank to the IMC team for selecting our project document verification engine for the IMC Digital Technology Award 2020.
We are very grateful to receive the IMC Digital Technology Award 2020 from IMC Chamber of Commerce, a 100-year-old organization which is striving towards recognizing technology in this country.
We thank every eminent jury member of IMC Chamber of Commerce and Industry Digital Award 2020.
I would like to express my sincere thanks to the IMC and the esteemed jury members of the IMC Digital Technology Award.
I would like to thank IMC Digital Technology Awards 2020 for recognizing us for our Salesforce automation for our field staff, which we had developed with Mobisi Technology Bizon.
We would like to thank the esteemed jury and the entire team at IMC for giving us this honor and recognition.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rajan Samuel, Managing Director of Habitat for Humanity India. On behalf of Habitat for Humanity India, I would like to convey my heartfelt gratitude and are grateful for bestowing us with a certificate of recognition at the IMC Digital Technology Awards 2020.
The Ministry of Skill Development, of which JSS is a part, are delighted and honored that the JSS portal has been considered by the IMC Digital Technology Award 2020 for the best project within the end user category, that is the government.
Good evening. It gives me immense pleasure on behalf of the jury to announce the IMC Digital Technology Lifetime Achievement Awards. As you know, we have three names, incredible accomplishments, but I wanted to call out that we had two winners for the last 2 years and an additional recognition or a winner based on the IMC Hindutron late Hemant Sonawala Digital Technology Lifetime Achievement Award. For those of you who may not know, late Shri Hemant Sonawala was described by Business India as a man who saw the future. He was a technology entrepreneur who founded Hindutron in 1966. The first electronics enterprise focusing on instrumentation and electronic engineering. His mission was better life through technology. He has also been a driving force behind many of the technology association and the NASCOM. NASCOM was conceptualized with his blessings at the Hindutron guest house. The jury was unanimous in the selection, but because Dr. Kanodia and Sri Atul Nishar were part of the jury, we had to exclude them from the deliberations. So I will just quickly get into the three award winners in alphabetic order. Mr. Ashank Desai, founder, vice chairman, and MD, Mastec Limited. He has won numerous awards and recognitions for his contribution, but I'll just mention a couple. The Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi, felicitated him for his contribution to NASCOM and the industry. He's also received the Outstanding Entrepreneur Award at the Asia Pacific Entrepreneur Awards 2010. Mr. Atul Nishar requires no introduction. He's the chairman of Ascent Overseas Education Limited, founder of Hexaware technology, and AppTech. Forbes Asia listed him as one of the top 50 philanthropists in 2019. Finally, we have Dr. Lalit Surajmal Kanodia, Chairman, Datamatics Group of Companies. He's absolutely amazing, and he wins the coveted IMC Hindutron Late Hemant Sonawala Digital Technology Lifetime Achievement Awards. As many of you may know and recall, he was the founder CEO of TCS, and has been involved with the industry for many, many years. He's also been an educator and taught in MIT and Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of Management. He was also an executive member of MIT, and you also know him as the IMC president between 2017 and 18. He's received many, many awards, and I'll just call out two of them. One was the Global Achiever Award for Business Excellence, and the other was the recognition from the Prime Minister of India for the most innovative software products. With this, I think on behalf of the jury, I think we are all humbled and truly honored to have been able to recognize such eminent people who have not only contributed to the technology industry, but also to IMC. Over to you to listen from them.
IMC President Rajiv Poddar, IMC-elect President Zuzair Kurakiwala, Chair of Digital Committee Ms. Shankana Desai, Chief Judge Sandhya Vasudevan, and Chief Guest, my dear friend Rishad Premji. It is a great pleasure to be here accepting this Lifetime Achievement Award. I thank IMC and judges for honoring me with this award. I am really proud to get this award, especially from IMC, because it's a 110 plus year association serving the trade and industry, known all over India, and had very distinguished presidents throughout. It is still a bigger pleasure because I'm sharing today my podium with my two other colleagues who are getting the award. Lalit Kanodia, whose datamatics was kind of inspiration to us when I was at IIT to start the company. And also my dear friend Atul Nishad, who we may not know each other at that time, but we used to travel from Ghatkopar to Nariman Point together in those early days when we started Mastek and Zaware. Mastek was founded in Ghatkopar. So I was reflecting on the life. Is it a lifetime award? And trying to see what has moved and how the life has changed. Actually, it is a dream to be leaving this IT industry and the dream of my company, Mastek. So I have to thank many, many people in the dream that I live. So I'll quickly talk few moments on who made a difference to me. First and foremost is a dream Mastek. We were classmates at IIM Ahmedabad, 1979, decided to start a company. Ethan Mehta and R. Sundar are the two classmates. Started Mastek in 82. Then we had another colleague, Sudhakar Ram. Unfortunately, we lost him, a very unfortunate event. But we lived together for last 38, 40 years to build Mastek with a 15,000 capital. Those were the early days of IT industry. Nobody knew what was software, nor our parents. They were wondering what to do. But we lived that dream, and we are here running business all over the world and feeling good that we started many new things in the industry. The second dream, which is related to Mastek again, is a Majesco, which was an offshoot from Mastek. And we always felt that we should do products since 1985, including ERP that we built, one of the first in 1989. The record has been not always successful, but Majesco, when it built insurance software with 200 million investment, got listed in NASDAQ, first product company from India to get listed in NASDAQ, and a product company which was so successful that it was top 3 in US with 80% market business coming from US. So those two dreams, I am very thankful to my colleagues, Sudhakar, Ketan, and Sundar for making that happen. My third dream is NASCOM dream. We got in together, thanks to Harish, he others invited me, and I had a great opportunity to work with him, with my other colleague, founder members like K.V. Ramani, and beyond anything else, N.R. Narayan Murthy, who has been guide, philosopher, and friend all these years, has a tremendous impact on me in terms of whatever I did later. I was lucky to, of course, take over from FC Kohli, whose experience helped me a lot, and many other NASCOM friends. I think all of them have been very helpful, very energetic, and very inspiring for me to help. So I thank all of them wholeheartedly for making it happen. Last is dream IT industry, as I see. When we started NASCOM, I think we were 50 million, 80 million industry. Now we are close to 200 billion, but the dream is yet to be over. Like NASCOM dream continues, NASCOM has become a leading association, not only in India as an example, globally. And the dream of IT industry, catalyzed by NASCOM, also continues, will be 500 million. I thank all of those who have contributed to make that happen. After all, we all succeeded together. I don't think Mastech Majesco succeeded just by themselves. There was an ecosystem which was created by all my friends. So I take this time to thank all of them. And last, and not the least, are all my family members who spent, my wife Padma spent as a companion in this life journey, and my children. And I thank all of them for what I am today. So with the wholehearted sentiments, I accept this award today for lifetime achievements and wish all of you a great, healthy, successful, prosperous life ahead and great IT industry future. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me thank Indian Merchants Chamber and members of the jury for considering me fit enough to be given this coveted Lifetime Achievement Award. I am truly honored. And my honor is doubled since I am receiving the award at the hands of Rishad Premji, an eminent IT leader, business leader, chairman of Wipro Limited, and an eminent thought leader in India. It's a pleasure to work with Rishad Premji at NASCOM for last many years. Let me make a few points about my entrepreneurial journey. I started Aptech in 1984 as a computer education company and Hexaware Technologies as a software services company in 1990. I ran Aptech for 17 plus years as its promoter and Hexaware as 23 years as promoter and 7 years as its chairman. At Aptech, we had taken a mission that we will train every single Indian student in computers. And we opened 1,500 centers in every nook and corner of India, training 300,000 students every year in building their career in computers. This was more than any university anywhere in the world. Our courses were typically 1 year, 2 year and 3 year in career education. We also set up centers outside India. It was AppTech brand. We set up in 50 countries, the developing world. The centers were run in the Indian brand AppTech as an Indian company. Same course as we did in India, we ran in all these countries, and it was about Indian flag flying high across the developing world. When it came to Hexaware in 1990, this was early 90s when the India image and the Indian IT industry were not yet known in the IT world. And we decided that we are going to work and do projects in the developed world, in the advanced countries like US and Europe, and work with large enterprises. Finally, the time came when we were doing projects for 55 of the Fortune 500, Global 500 companies. That was a moment of great pride for us. Subsequently, when I ceased to be the promoter of Hexaware, I set up my family office and decided to support Indian tech startups by investing in them directly or through different funds. And we have been able to support a large number of startups in India. I also work with my two daughters in their own tech startups. Priyanka for Ascent Overseas Education and Devangi for azafashions.com. I would like to thank tens of thousands of people who supported me in this journey and together with me contributed our little bit in building brand India and also enhancing India's image across the world, both developing and the developed world. I also want to thank my wife Alka and my two daughters Priyanka and Devangi for all the sacrifices that they have made during my entrepreneurial journey. Thank you very much. Once again, I would like to thank Indian Merchants Chamber and members of the jury. Thank you.
On behalf of the Board of Directors of Inditron, I am grateful to IMC for instituting this award in memory of our founder chairman and my late brother Hemant Sonawala. I am delighted that the award is being given this year to Dr. Lalit Kanodia, a contemporary of my late brother and pioneer in information technology just like him. Our congratulations to Dr. Kanodia.
First of all, I must thank IMC for this honor that they are bestowing on me today. That is a Lifetime Achievement Award. It's particularly important to me because I've been chosen by my peers and a group of people who understand what software is all about. Thank you very much. I must recount my journey for the benefit of this audience. After finishing my undergraduate or my bachelor degree at IIT Bombay, I joined MIT for my MBA. At that time, I did not know what a computer is. While at MIT, I became a research assistant to Professor Donald Carroll, who later became Dean of Wharton, which he headed so very admirably, making it one of the leading business schools in that country. Donald Carroll had an office at Project Mac, where I too had an office, and we had two IBM 1794s on which we developed the CTSS, Compatible Time Shared System, which then became Multics and spun off into Unix. And this was my introduction 2 computers. I then returned to India in 1965 and joined Tata's. I wrote the project report to create a software company for them, which is now called TCS. They accepted that. While at Tata's for the period of about 5 years, I had 3 directors that I reported to. First, Mr. P.M. Agarwala, Managing Director of Tata Power Companies. Then Mr. Naval Tata, Chairman of Tata Services. And last, Mr. J.R.D. Tata, Chairman of Tata Sons. I thoroughly enjoyed the 5 years that I spent with Tatas and at TCS. People often ask me, why did I leave TCS when I was a CEO at the age of around 30? And the answer is very simple. At that time, they were sitting on salaries, and the maximum salary anyone could earn was probably 5 lakhs, which by no way would have been sufficient for me to support my siblings, my mother, and my wife. So I had no choice but to seek an alternative. Having left TCS, I became a management consultant. So up to 1975, I consulted to the State Bank of India, the Kamani Group, the Somani Group, and so on. Then in 1975, I started my own company, Datamatics. I have seen computers morph from a mainframe, which occupied thousands of square feet, to the mini, to the PC and the laptop, and finally to the smartphone. I've seen software development revenues jump from 0 to now $1.8 trillion, which what they are today. So I've enjoyed the entire journey and I've had fun. I've learned a lot. In 1975, we tied up with Wang Labs and then thereafter with AT&T, Bell Labs. We developed the Arabic word processor and we became the largest independent Wang software developer in the world. At AT&T, we set up a satellite link from here to Bell Labs, which is the first time that any Indian company had done that, to develop software using the computers at the lab. At Datamatics, we have done 8 M&As, 3 companies in the USA, 1 in Germany, 1 in the Philippines, and 3 in India. So it's been an adventure, it's been fun. Now I'm in a situation where my 2 sons are running the company and the business very admirably well. And I am sure that they'll take it to much greater heights. Once again, I must thank IMC and the jury for honoring me by bestowing this particular award. Thank you very much.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the moment that you awaited for, I invite our moderator, Mrs. Dhankana Desai, Chairperson IMC Digital Technology Committee, to initiate the In Conversation with our chief guest, Mr. Rishad Premji, Chairman, Wipro Limited. Over to you, Ms. Desai.
Thank you very much, Selvi, and for handing over to me. In the interest of time, I will go straight. I will request Mr. Rishad Premji to make his remarks and take over from here. Thank you.
Thanks, Venkana, and thanks. We changed the format a little bit. I thought I'd make a few comments, but thank you so much and good evening for having me here. I'm truly, truly humbled to be at the special recognition of the IMC Digital Technology Awards. Let me start by congratulating all the recipients of the awards, and especially the Lifetime Achievement Award winners, Ashank Bhai, Atul, and Dr. Kanodia. I've had a chance to know Ashank Bhai and Atul for many years, and they've been great supporters through my years at NASSCOM. There cannot be a better recognition that is more relevant and more contemporary in the world of today. Digital technology is truly, truly all-pervasive, and so your achievements that have brought this honor to you truly herald a great future for you. So congratulations again to all the winners. For me personally, it's a big honor and a pleasure to be here at this forum. It's an honor because the Indian Merchants Chamber is truly a special institution. There is no other industry body that can claim to have had Mahatma Gandhi as its member. That the Mahatma chose to become a member of the IMC says a lot about this institution. It is also a personal pleasure for me because, as Rajiv said, my grandfather, Muhammad Hussain Hashim Premji, was president of this institution from 1946 to 1947 at the tender age of 31. Over these last 5 years, we have researched the history of Wipro, which naturally is also the story of my grandfather. We undertook this exercise because we turned 75 this year as a company, and we wanted to share the story of Wipro. During the course of this research, we have unearthed many photographs from a bygone era. One of my favorite photographs is that of a dais where my grandfather is standing and speaking, and sitting beside him are Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Patel, Maulana Azad, and other illustrious figures from our history. This photograph is from 1946 at an event of the Indian Merchant Chamber. This photograph in many senses symbolizes for me why IMC is so special. And I think the essence of that is that IMC saw its purpose and role beyond that of being an industry body and saw itself as the integrator and interface between industry and the most important social issues of the time. No wonder it was an integral part of India's independence movement, and no wonder that Mahatma Gandhi found it fitting to be its member. So congratulations. On this occasion, my address should be about technology, but the reason I'm starting with such a long preamble from history is that from history one can learn so much about the full promise of technology, and perhaps some of its risks as well. In a function to honor great work on technology, and digital technology in particular, I don't need to talk about the promise of technology. That's obvious. It's like the old proverb, it's like taking coal to Newcastle. Nevertheless, to emphasize this matter, let me talk a little bit about technology. Let me start by saying that I'm a huge believer in the potential and impact technology can bring. We are a more connected, informed, and a digitally transacting world because of the progress technology has made in the last 10 to 15 years. Consumers and businesses across the world were going through a transformation and adopting to new ways of working even before the pandemic. But the COVID-19 crisis has only accelerated these efforts. And while it has been a tragic year on so many fronts, it has also been a transformational year in so many ways. Technology has been one of the key things at the core of this transformation. One clear change has been that business priorities have shifted from being about cost and efficiency to being about agility and speed. Thus, companies are transforming their technology stack today to operate with agility and flexibility and to serve their customers in a profoundly different way. Areas like cloud, cybersecurity, and AI are all top strategic spend areas. Let me share 3 specific data points to illustrate this intense pickup of technology over the last year. Digital commerce has seen a 160% increase in frequency of digital purchases. E-commerce in India registered over 50% orders during Q1 and Q2 of last year from Tier 3 and Tier 4 cities. The US e-commerce market grew 44% in 2020. FinTech has seen 25% consumers using mobile phones for purchases at least once a week. India witnessed a 2 to 3% rise in contactless payments within the first 30 days of the lockdown. We have seen all this around us, not limited to the middle class and above. Most visibly, the pandemic has transformed the concept of distributed global work like never before. Services business, manufacturing companies, other organizations that are built around close in-person collaboration are finding ways to embrace a more virtual, remote, and distributed workforce. There are still challenges, of course, to working remotely, such as ineffective management and engagement in a virtual model, data security, and data privacy, and perhaps these things may amplify as more and more employees work from home. But this is a change that is here to stay, and we are likely to see hybrid work models in the long term. And this kind of seismic shift, we should also be conscious as an effect on the entire ecosystem, real estate, facility services, catering services, and more. But as I said, there is no point in bringing coal to Newcastle or more IT to digital technology awardees. So let me actually spend some time on a different matter, which I think is most important for us to reflect on. How do we ensure that we fulfill the true promise of technology, not merely economic growth, but as a true enabler of human well-being? This is what I will devote the rest of my remarks to. I want to share 4 areas where this trade-off of maximizing economic growth with human well-being perhaps needs deeper thought. Let me confess up front as well that I don't have answers and I don't have the solutions to these challenges, but I think these are important and useful debates and we must have them. The first one is the impact of technology on the very structure of markets and competition. There is no doubt that technology has empowered consumers and small businesses with the kind of information and access which was beyond imagination even 15 years ago. On the other side, there is equally no doubt that the dynamics of technology have tended to concentrate market power with a few organizations, which can perhaps result in what has often been called a winner-take-all economy. We have to understand how to ensure that monopolies or near monopolies do not develop, markets function efficiently, to most importantly ensure that we keep the spirit of entrepreneurship and innovation alive always and forever. And perhaps we need to think through what does regulation mean in the world of technology, including cross-border regulation and laws on competition. Second, technology, particularly digital and social media, have integrated the world as never before. They have fostered human connections and solidarity across distance and barriers, and this is incredibly powerful. And at times, they have been a channel for consolidation and fomenting of hate and misinformation. There is no question that this tension and the questions that arise from these need immediate addressing. Else, the extraordinary potential of such technologies will not be fulfilled, because either they may understandably get curtailed by governments, or may continue to unleash forces that are against human well-being. Perhaps the approach to confronting this matter is much more responsive self-governance by the technology platforms, as is being practiced by some of the players today. Third, we must acknowledge that technology has affected jobs, the nature of work, and will shape the future of work. Without doubt, technology has created hundreds and millions of new employment and livelihood opportunities. It has provided self-employment pathways for doing businesses. At the same time, clearly, technology has had a role to play in shifting job opportunities, not just geographically, and India has clearly been a huge beneficiary of this shift, but across the education ladder as well. At times, perhaps the most vulnerable have been the most affected. We must be conscious of this and help people reskill to participate in the new opportunities tech disruption creates. In the long march of human history, the expansion of new kinds of technologies has over a period of time only created economic prosperity, and we must ensure that it continues to do so. Fourth, and lastly, the use of technology can be a massive force multiplier for many elements of human development. Yet we must be careful to not assume that it will be the panacea for all issues of human development. For a moment, let me take an example that I am familiar with, the area of education. It's an area I'm familiar with because our foundation has done a fair amount of work in this over the last 20 years. And let me tell you, after decades of experimentation and experience in working with primary school students in government schools in some of the most remote parts of the country, it has become clear to us that technology cannot substitute a teacher, because education is a complex subject and is dependent on the human relationship between student and teacher. However, at the same time, technology can be a very powerful tool in the hand of a teacher to build her own capacity and enable her to access content which would otherwise not be available. So clearly in matters of human development, if we think of technology as a hammer looking for a nail, then it may not be as effective. On the other hand, those with deep expertise in human development issues must, and they absolutely must, use technology embedded in their efforts, which could be of significant help. I think it is critical, and I hope many of you feel the same, that we must ensure that technology remains closely aligned to overall human good, which is at the heart of fulfilling the true potential of technology. And the tensions or the contradictions perhaps that I have alluded to can be addressed by thinking deeply about their solutions. I say all this while being part of a large technology company which has not only survived, but thrived thanks to the progress of technology. I say this also because a continuous improvement on our answers to these fundamental questions is what will really enable technology to contribute to its maximum to society. And this is ultimately what will benefit all technology companies. But I talk about these complex issues also for another reason today. And that is we have some of the very best and brightest in the world of technology here. I have no doubt that you are the people who will continually develop better and better answers for these issues and these questions that I have alluded to. It is you and more like you who will lead the transformative impact technology can have both for businesses and for human good. We have lived through a truly unimaginable year. This year has shown us how technology can help us transform overnight and continue to live and work in ways that we could just not have imagined and just would not have been possible 10 to 15 years ago. Such is the progress and power of technology. At the same time, this tragic year has shown us that there is truly no substitute for deep personal bonds and genuine human care. I would urge all of us that we learn one thing from this year of tragedy, that to fulfill the extraordinary potential of technology, we must also ensure that it is truly aligned to true human good. Thank you again for having me. Congratulations to all the winners again. I wish you all safety and the very best. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your insightful conversation, sir. Nothing is forever. So as we conclude, may I request Mr. Juzer Khorakiwala, President-elect, IMC, to deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you, Mr. Khorakiwala.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the IMC Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I have great pleasure in proposing a vote of thanks at the conclusion of IMC Digital Technology Awards 2020 presentation ceremony. First of all, I wish to express our sincere thanks to our Mr. Rishad Premji, Chairman Wipro Limited, for making it convenient to be with us this evening to grace this very rare occasion. It was really enriching to hear him. I wish to congratulate Mr. Asham Desai, Principal Founder and former Chairman of Mastech Limited, Mr. Atul Nishar, Chairman, Ascent Overseas Education Limited and Founder, Hexaware Technologies, and Dr. Lalit Kanodia, Chairman, Datamatics Group of Companies, who have been conferred Lifetime Achievement Award for their contribution towards the development of the IT industry. All three of them have been very closely associated with IMC over the years in their contribution towards the Digital Technology Committee of IMC. My heartfelt congratulations to the limelight of the day, all the award winners and certificate of recognition holders, and wish them to continue successfully in their endeavors and share their best practices with other organizations in the country. I am grateful to eminent main panel of jury members, Mr. Ashish Chetri, Vice President, Human Resources and Information Technology at Asian Paints, Mr. Atul Nishar, Chairman, Ascent Overseas Education Limited, and founder of Hexaware Technologies, Mr. Harish Mehta, founder and executive chairman, Onward Technologies Limited, Dr. Lalit Kanodia, Chairman, Datamatics Group of Companies, Mrs. Lara Balsara Wazifdar, Executive Director, Madison World, Mr. Nitin Shub, Managing Director and Executive Officer, Ujjivan Small Finance Bank, Mr. Sanjay Mehta, Founder and Partner, 100 VC, Mrs. Sandhya Vasudevan, Managing Director, DVOI Global Services Private Limited, Deutschland Group, and the convener of the final jury panel, Mrs. Jankana Desai, Chairperson, IMC Digital Technology Committee and Managing Director, KSO BPO Private Limited. I would also like to thank the many interim jury panel members, Mr. Himanshu Dahiya, Mr. Moeed Hussain Ali, Mrs. Neena Dasgupta, Dr. Pradeep K. Mukherjee, Dr. Pradeep Pense, Mr. Rajgopal Nayak, Dr. Ranjit Nair, Mr. Satish Pai, Mr. Sudeep Banerjee, Mr. Sudipta Sen, Mr. Sumit Narayan Rajwade, and convener of the interim panel, Mr. Mukesh Kriplani, member IMC Digital Technology Committee and CEO, Parekh Blast Limited, for sparing their valuable time and efforts in scrutinizing a large number of quality applications that were received in this year. Believe me, it was a mammoth task which has been successfully accomplished due to the valuable time they have devoted for the task. Mr. Jankana Desai, Chairperson IMC Digital Technology Committee, along with the Digital Technology Award Subcommittee Chairman Mr. Harish Tibrewala, and members of the committee have carried the mantle of the awards and put in a lot of hard work and efforts from their busy schedule to bring success to the awards and raise it a notch up to make it one of the coveted flagship events of the Chamber. My hearty congratulations to each and every member of the committee for their efforts in taking these awards to a higher level. I take this opportunity to profusely thank our sponsors, Ascent Overseas Education Limited and Hinditron Group of companies. And last but not the least, I am grateful to all of you participants for being present in such large numbers and making the award function a great success. We feel truly encouraged by the tremendous response from applicants and hope to continue getting even better response in future. I once again thank all of you for joining us for this award ceremony. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Khurakiwala. We thank our sponsors, Ascent Overseas Education Limited and Hinditron, for their valuable support and contribution in making this a success. We also would like to thank Reach Media for providing us this digital platform and the digital media and print media for joining us. Thank you to all participants, esteemed guests, jury members, our sponsors and winners. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience and kind cooperation. I, Selby Nambishan, your anchor, sign off and hope you had a great evening. Good night.